Got it. I'll go.
Okay.
I didn't even change my clothes, I was outside there. Both of us outside garden.
You had on what I had, I could change your clothes.
Really? You look fine.
No, before when I was.
Well,
gardening,
I
she
just,
was
I'm
fine.
okay, I just.
She's
All right, well, you know,
She's a neater gardener than I am.
Go outside. Oh, my God.
Okay, I copied the, do your thing. Do your thing. You
All right.
you called the order, you had public
The
comment,
meeting
everybody there.
is called to order at
Disposition of
6:03.
minutes. The disposition, we have two sets of minutes. So we had that little meeting to vote to have virtual meetings.
Yeah.
So that was, you had that.
Yeah.
I don't know, you wanted to go separate.
Did we have to,
Yes,
and that was, we didn't, what happened? We didn't,
You voted to have virtual meetings.
you know, but I mean, afterwards, should we need to do something else that we didn't do?
No.
No.
No, what happened is the last meeting we had, we were supposed to only talk about the minutes from the May meeting, right?
Okay.
I didn't do them for the
Okay.
last one because I don't know
I
why.
don't know.
I waited till June because it seemed like we were supposed to do May minutes.
But no, that meeting.
Because this happened after.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
June, right before the June meeting.
Yeah, so I
Before.
decided that we just, like, I don't know,
Right.
formally approve them this meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do we need to do now?
Just vote to approve those and then,
Those minutes and the minutes.
yeah, and that should be on the agenda that way, and I'm sorry.
Okay, so
So-
first of all, we have the June seventh
Seventh.
meeting, which was just for that one purpose.
So, right, June 7th,
We might as well do both together.
You
Yeah,
could.
yeah, I don't remember.
and then June 14th.
But I will,
So it was special meeting minutes, maybe you could say,
Yeah.
and then June 14th for normal.
I'll make a motion.
Just make
Okay,
it
so
pretty.
you're gonna pass the
Yeah.
motion to approve them. And I will second that. For the June seventh meeting, right?
Or did we do
Well,
both?
June 7th and 14th are joined together.
I know.
I mean, but there's,
Yeah.
we're only 3 people here anyway.
All right, so we approve both of them.
Right,
I
right.
think we can, since there's no corrections,
Yeah.
and you already corrected it, so.
I did, because there was a date wrong, but
I'll
As
just
of
write
the
June
meeting.
7th.
as presented or something, I don't know. And as it, see attached, right? So whatever we
Okay.
do, they'll be attached.
Okay, so we're set with that.
Good, yep.
And the president's report, I don't know if I have a report, I must compliment you on your minutes regarding the meeting where
I know, wow.
Yeah, well,
people
like
came and
April-
commented.
April and I talked a little bit and what the minutes, and I, looked in the handbook, the minutes are
Yeah.
supposed to record the business.
Yeah,
But I thought it wouldn't hurt to just make a mention that. there
Yes,
were people
absolutely.
Oh,
here.
yeah, no, that's okay.
such a
Yeah.
polite mention. I might have said something else.
But just the
anyway,
facts.
The program, I thought, the actual Pride Story Time, I thought was well supported. There were a lot of people who were interested in coming to the story time. And then there were
Yeah, I was
other people
surprised,
present in the library who
Yeah.
weren't there, didn't have children with them, but were supportive
Oh, right.
of library programming.
Yes.
And I thought that was really kind of nice.
Well-
Somebody from my church came, well, she came
Yes.
with Jamie's mother.
Right, but we
because
also
they
had
were gonna-
Liz.
Yeah, Liz was
Yeah.
the one that came. with
Yeah,
us.
so-
I was going to come, but
You know,
You sent Liz in your.
yeah, and Pat and I were there and Sally.
yeah.
But the thing is, and I was betwixt and between, because that Sunday I told you on our bulletin in St. Paul's was an article to, for them to meet with the Rosary against all this.
And it's
Well,
like the.
But, and that was in our bulletin, so I called Father, I said, I cannot belong to a church that would do this.
I
So
know.
he agreed with me, so we talked a long
Oh,
time,
great.
and we decided, he said the priest that came here, I forgot Italian name. I forget
Yeah.
what it
He's
is.
from Verona.
Yeah.
Right.
Verona, but he's an instigator.
Okay.
He called, I shouldn't say this, I'm saying anything else.
Yeah, we are
But
recording.
he,
That's
No,
all right.
we are, but this is true.
We're
Anyways, I
speaking
guess,
the truth.
no, but anyhow, Father was very upset with it. So Father and I decided we would come on the Friday before the Saturday. And we would say the rosary for respect for children, nothing to do with, anything to do with pride, nothing to do with gay, nothing to do with anything, but just for good reasons to love one another and all that. So, okay, we intended to meet at 3:00 in the afternoon in front of the, not in front of the library, wherever. And so I got my son-in-law took me, and I had one of my cousins whose son is gay, he's a wonderful guy. He lives with, you would never know it, they're two guys, that's it. And so they came and supported me, you know, so that we, if anything happened. Well, when I got here, there were a group of people outside the gate with rosaries. And so,
On Friday.
Yeah, they were, I heard, I wasn't here.
so I did not want to get out of the car because one of the people that was there is, she likes me a lot. I had children in school and every Sunday she kisses me in church and all that. She was one of the people. And she waited for me and all that. And I thought, what's going on here? So I never got out of the car and I waited for Father for a half hour. Well, he got called to emergency. So he couldn't make it. So anyhow, and then he talked to the bishop, I guess, or something. They decided, just don't do anything because you're gonna stir up more trouble. And, you know, he says, I have people in my congregation who are people who are transgender. He said, they're all, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna throw them out of my church? He says, no, I would never, you know, he accepts everyone. He says,
Well, you have to, there's no choice. If you
And
can't
I really wish some of those people would have noticed that it was really a harmless
be-
thing,
Yeah.
that it was just, and maybe said, oh, I was wrong, but that's too much to
There were
ask.
some, but, you know, it was
and the books were great.
once it all started, you know, I think that
Yeah.
when people got past the,
I mean,
And then
the
that guy
the
started
misunderstanding was
shouting.
all.
He started shouting and shouting, thank God,
Yeah,
he didn't get out.
I do have to, the chief of police here was very supportive.
Yeah.
He stayed the whole time and he was very good. So I was quite happy.
But we didn't
With the
stay the whole
support.
thing, was it all right now that they, you know,
Nothing after that.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
I know, I
Haven't seen
couldn't-
another person because they realized that, you know, maybe afterwards.
Yeah.
but no,
really
he didn't undress or anything, no, just stayed as a woman the whole time.
Correct. He was a character. It's
Yeah.
like a clown
That was
doesn't
Yeah.
come out in their like day clothes.
It's like-
And he left as that character and.
Yeah, it was a-
As people who take a
like
position.
Disney,
and
right? I
Don't
mean,
pay
it's
any attention to. what
You're the
reality
character,
is.
you're Elsa, you're whoever you are and you don't, you know.
Well,
Hi,
I
Sally.
come out of
my
character.
friend who's a
Thanks.
lawyer was sitting there.
So,
She
excuse me,
was against it.
sorry I'm late. I was out on the road trip, you know,
Oh,
visiting the
good.
libraries.
She was on the library road trip.
We were out in
Oh,
Camden and Bridgeport.
The road trip is, you can go to all the different libraries in the Mid-York system, there's a map.
Maybe physically she went?
She, well, not to all of them today, but she went.
Where's the map?
I can show you out there later, it's on.
Where did you go, Sally?
Today we went to Camden and Bridgeport. So
Oh,
it's out a ways and that's it. We just took longer coming back than I thought. When we were in the Camden Library, there was a woman there that said one day they did 10 libraries. I cannot imagine that. I just
I
can't.
guess if you line them up the right way.
Well, and some of them are
Well,
closed.
I mean, what are you doing? Walking in and walking out? You should look at
Pretty
the
much,
library.
I think that's what they have to do.
So anyhow, I'm enjoying it. I'm up to
Okay,
I'm up to 16, I think.
good for you.
Wow, she'll go through those.
So
Yeah, all right. It sounded like fun. I was talking about it with one of the girls with Kathy. And she was asking me what's a good place.
I
to
think
go.
it is fun
And I
for them.
told her a couple of places that I thought were good and not that far. She didn't know. I wasn't familiar with them, so.
It's nice, it seems to be helping our economies within our library areas.
there you
too.
go. And you
People
know,
are stopping, right?
And you get
It's-
ideas about things, you know,
Yeah.
about.
exactly. You know, in Chittenango, they had the little Munchkin door, you know, that's the home of L. Frank Baum, the author of
right,
The Wizard
yeah.
of Oz. So they have the little Munchkin door there to go into the children's story
It's
hour.
very cute.
And
That,
in
It's an old
Casanova,
So they
have a-
have old, literally like safes and things like that. So they made this little area out of a safe. They took the door off and you could go in. I mean, embrace what you have, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
It was fun.
But there's
Great.
no program, she just went on.
No, there's no programs. The
Yeah,
idea is that
just
you
go
go in and you get your,
Yeah.
it's like a
passport.
a
kind of-
passport for the
yeah.
national parks. They just stamp it.
Oh,
And then once you go to certain places, like you get a tattoo after 5, I should know this, I don't. and then you get something else after 10 or something else. So eventually, if you go to all of them, you get a gold library card and it's metal.
That's the goal.
It's the
Who
goal.
wouldn't like a gold
Good.
library card? So,
Gosh,
There's
so
40
many.
5 spots. There's 43 libraries, but Mid-York is one, and then there's maybe a reading room. Yeah, so there's,
Westmoreland.
yeah,
Yeah,
So there's some different
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And there are all
Yeah.
kinds of libraries.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's interesting to see different libraries. It
I
really
think
is.
it is. I get ideas.
Yeah, if I'm ever in some town and you have time to
Okay.
go and look. at
Did
the
did we approve and?
Okay.
Who did what?
financial-
We're on to the
financial
finance
report.
report.
Okay, so you did all the minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Expenditure
the
and
president's report.
Okay.
Expenditure and revenues report.
I'll make the
from May.
motion. Accept that,
Okay. I'll second.
okay.
And then we have the abstracted claims.
And the total is
Aye.
two
Well, it's
hundred
not
and 41,247.41.
That's 142 for me, so that's our construction.
Oh,
Okay.
That's why it's like
Okay.
crazy.
I was just gonna say, that's pretty high.
there's, yeah. That's it, $142,126.58 for the construction.
Right, that's kind of what threw
I'll
it
approve-
out of
I'll
whack.
approve that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Pat first.
I can second it.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
And
Oh, okay, that was expenditure. What's that?
That's the.
You did that one already, so I'm writing down
And
things
the
wrong.
expenditure and revenues both have been approved.
Yep, and then we're up to you.
The directors.
You're up to me, it's kind of short, It's a lot of the same old, and then, I was out first, or I will be out more.
Yeah.
All right, so the Directors Advisory Council meeting, I did go to that, and that was, just what, we talked a bit about, there's a database that they're creating that we would be able to, maybe our parks passes in, so people might be able to sign things out online, which was the most interesting to me. They also have things like projectors and story kits and that sort of thing. So in Mid-York, it would be something we would use as library professionals, that we would be able to reserve those rather than call somebody on the phone. You just can reserve those. They don't go in the catalog that everyone sees.
Right.
So that was talked about. And also there's lockers that they're piloting in New Hartford, Chittenango, and I want to say there's a third one. And they're just like the lockers that you would get if you went to, say, Lowe's, and they say, okay, use this key or a
Like-
code, and you
Like
get
when you
things
go
out.
have your mammogram and they tell you to put your thing in
Yeah,
there.
But there's no key, but it's a
Oh.
similar idea that it's a lock, and
Yeah.
I think there's a code, and they say, and so maybe it's your PIN for your library card, or you scan your library card and put your PIN in, and then you can
Yeah.
open it up
Oh,
and get your books out, and you could do that at, midnight if you wanted.
Right. Oh,
So
that's
I'm
cool.
kind of trying to figure out where we put ours, and probably by the new entrance, just under the Wi-Fi stuff. And then we could just put a little bit of sidewalk, and it would, boom, it's right there.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd be able to, I know that the pilot libraries had to put in an outlet. And it comes with a light and the whole bit, so it's nice, it makes your library 24 hours. So if you put something on hold,
It could be
you would
put
say,
on-
okay, you put it on the hold shelf at Dunham, or you put it on the hold shelf at the locker. You could do it now.
Oh,
New Hartford's
okay.
open for that. So you could say, oh, I want to get this book from New Hartford, and I want it to be
In the
in the locker.
And
See
then
how it works out.
we'll tell you which locker.
Not yet, no, we weren't part of the pilot, and I was thinking that was okay. We were part of the RFID thing.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were like
absolutely.
ground floor with that, oh. So we had some growing pains.
Yeah,
I wasn't
exciting.
really, I said that we were willing, but I don't know, maybe because we had such a big construction project, they thought April 7th would explode. So that was mostly what we talked about, was that, but you can do it, you could try it out now if you want to. That you could go to New
One
Hartford.
locker and then the books would be there like with your names on them or separate lockers.
I haven't been, I
Oh,
saw a
for
picture.
sure.
But there's, like, say, smaller lockers at the top, they're pretty deep, so most books will fit in it. But then if you, let's say we've got some homeschoolers and they have a lot of
Yeah.
books, right? So they're bigger lockers at the bottom,
Right.
so you
they
can
must-
get,
They must like tell you which locker you're.
they
supposed
do,
to be
they,
in,
it
which
must
locker.
like email you and say, okay, you're in locker 17 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this is how you get into it.
That's cool.
So we'll see how it all works out. So that's a pilot, but they are also so that was a company they contracted with. And they are also looking to see, there's a company locally that said they could make those at a fraction of the cost, so we're kind of waiting on that. So
Kind of
we'll
like
keep you informed.
Amazon lockers. You know, there's
Probably. Where are
Amazon
they?
lockers at Lowe's and.
Yes,
someplace
It's that,
else I
it's
saw.
basically the same thing, but
Yeah.
Mid-York's looking into doing that, and we will get right on that. All right, oh, wow, all this has happened. So we did, we talked about this a little bit, Kim and I met with the Whitesboro chief about what we should do, and that was very helpful. And our Pride Story Time happened on the 25th, and that was very well attended. And then the deposit, I did one today. So, this is revised. Oh, I didn't say it was revised. So you just got a revised copy. I can send it to you, Sally, if you want to, but basically I wasn't here to do the deposit because my mother-in-law passed away, which I could probably put in here, but I didn't. So I did the deposit today. I worked today because it was just easier to do so. And then we had our books of our lives. Pam started a little bit of a board game thing too, board games
About that.
that happened with the puzzle. And then we talked about books, so it was busy afternoon. And North Utica Whitestone Rotary, I became president of the North Utica Whitestone Rotary on July 1st. So I went to the changing of the guard meeting.
Is there
And
another Rotary? This is North.
there's lots of
I
them.
mean, North area.
It has to be
Whitestone.
the North Utica Whitestone. The reason I'm a member of that one is because that's where our library is. Utica has one, Rome has one.
We don't have another one in Whitestown, no. This says North, oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
No,
okay,
so
I
it
get it,
says
I get it.
District 7150.
I can't read that. well.
That's all right. It encompasses, so if that's the greater area. So when I went there, I saw Karen, who was there from Chittenango. I saw Liz, who was there from Canastota. So Liz is coming in, his third time as president. Karen was going out. There are a lot of libraries that's how we get involved. I think it's Darby O'Brien's influence. She was the director of Utica for quite some
Right.
time. She's like, this is what you have to do. You have to be part of the Literacy Coalition, have to be part of Rotary. I'm like, okay, Darby, we'll do that.
Be in the community.
Yes, and Wanda and Jeff from Mid-York are part of Rotary, and Chris Sagas is the Utica librarian or library director. And so they're part of the Utica group, and then Rome has a Rotary, so
Yeah.
Lisa Matt is part of the Rome one, and then there's one in Ilion, and so
Right.
wherever, like Travis is part of the Hamilton one.
Bye.
So we are just out there in Rotary. So I went anyway, changing the guard. So that was, so I am officially, we are going to start to meet here, but things got a little discombobbled. So we're going to meet one more time out in the community. We've been meeting.
Bye.
I'm sorry, Sally, do you wanna? Or you're just?
No,
chatting?
I just was telling my husband goodbye. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Very good. You can do that. So we're gonna just meet one more time on Thursday because I'm not really gonna work very much. I'm just gonna go to that meeting. And we'll start here, meeting every the second and the fourth Thursday in this room so we can have a hybrid meeting, which I think I told you about last time.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and then I did visit the library because I could not come to the Candyland thing. It was just
I
adorable.
know, I wondered what that was.
So you
Did they
can
have a
still
lot of
see the
good-
balloons to go in, so if you walk straight back, Kim got a grant, Kim Rodwell wrote a grant, well, she just requested, it wasn't a grant request from the Bank of Utica. Said, if you ever have any programming and you want
Oh,
help
okay.
with that, rather than us just writing you a random check.
Yeah.
So she saw on like Pinterest, and there's been other libraries have done life-size board games. So you go through an arch of balloons, and on a playing card deck, they laminated the cards that you would get from Candyland. Like
Yeah.
go to red,
Yeah, yeah.
go to blue, go to green, whatever it was. So Allison, she came with me. And we got coffee because we had to, buy stuff for the week and all that. I said, we just have to go real quick. And so we went through and they had the big brown blob, it was a chocolate guy. I should know. I don't know. I've forgotten candy.
Well, the whole ass is
There you go. So I have pictures on my phone. I can show you all that. But there are still some things left of it, but there were those big these. So these were all over the floor, Sally, here, if you can see, I'll bring it all the way over there. So these squares were in all the different colors, so you went through, and there are backwards things. And she's like, there's just so many people here, we're just not doing the backwards stuff. So we did, and it didn't take very long to go through, it was just fun, you just kind of walked along, but it was in YA, and it came through, and it wove around.
That was fun.
And then you came back out the children's store, and that's where you finished, and you turned in your cards. So it's really cute.
It's like the chess game in Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, or Harry Potter, or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did that, and we'll probably do it again, but I think she's doing the sorry game for the close of summer reading. So we'll.
Sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'll be interested.
Yeah.
for the close, so this was to launch summer reading.
Oh,
And so when she wrote, she said, I'd like to do this because we want to get our numbers up for summer reading programs, because due to COVID, it's been smaller the last couple of years. So when she proposed that to the Bank of Utica, they foot the bill for all of it. But there was a lot. I mean, there were, I don't have them here, but we bought those squares, and that was a bit. Then she bought sand pails and sprayed them with some glittery thing, so they look like gumdrops.
Oh, right.
And just like all that stuff that would be in Candyland. We have kids who were volunteering, they were painting paper plates, and then they put the cellophane over it.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit around Kim's house.
There should be like lollipop.
Yes, there was a lollipop place to walk through and all of that.
Yeah.
And today, when I got here, Kevin Richmond said, oh, how long has it been since you were here? And I said, well, I haven't been here since like last Thursday when we met. So there's quite a bit of a punch list, is what they call it, of work to be done. We are not having the blood drive here on Friday, but the Legion is doing it because we just can't get out of them. We can't get out. The lights are back ordered until at least tomorrow. So if they come in tomorrow, that's good, but they might not.
Yeah.
And that's really the last thing, because the carpet's been put down, so we can go look.
Oh, good.
So the carpet's down in the hallway and up the stairs. Two of the doors, they stained, and they did polyurethane it, but they did it with a matte finish, and we thought that maybe a satin would match better with the woodwork that was around, so they did that. And just everything, you put carpet in, then you have to put one of those little dooflidgets so that the carpet is, it's secure. And so then they had to cut the doors off because they were a little long, and they put in countertops in the kitchen last Friday, and then Monday they put in the faucet for the sink. And by next Tuesday, we meet again. Hopefully there'll be more. Oh, there's the display case, has molding around it and shelves in it, but the doors aren't on yet. So, but things are coming. Oh, and then outside. So outside it was still leaking in the basement from that window that we closed it. So we closed in the window, and then they this past week, just whatever they do, like basement water seal kinds of paint they put on it. And then last Thursday, we pulled out the maps and we found the drawings, I should say. I don't know if they're maps, drawings, whatever they are. And there is a way to just tap into the storm drain.
Oh,
So they did that too. And they did backfill up to the wall, and things were going in the right direction. They also had a meeting about that it's small, it's like, you really can't get in it very well. Kevin calls it a bathtub, and it's just a space between Dunham House and the elevator addition that leaks once in a great while. So they don't really know why. And he thought it was extravagant to do what was on the drawings. And because he found that it was leaking near this space. It was, and so he said that's probably it. But then between 4 people, the envelope specialist, so they must do the outside to make sure nothing leaks in a building, so they call it an envelope specialist from the architectural people, that was their buddy. And then the roofing company that Mead is subcontracting with, so the owner and the roofer were here. And they came to a compromise that they think they should take this set of bricks off and make sure the flashing underneath it is right. So we'll probably get a credit for a little bit of the work because they don't believe it's all necessary to do.
Right.
But, so,
But it's
Stay
good to make
tuned.
sure that flashing, yeah. 'cause they want-
yes,
The main thing is keeping water from getting.
it doesn't come in very often, but we've just finished that whole area, so we don't want it to come dripping down the wall again. So we think it's, so that's what's happening.
Now, when do you think, see, I belong to a sorority, they're all teachers, or they're all retired really now. And they were looking for a program, and one suggested touring New Hartford Library. And I
Okay.
said, well, so we have our meetings there.
Yes,
And I said, well, our library, we finished the Dunham house, I don't know what to be done, but I thought that would be, if that was done, they think this would be a better.
that would be
Yeah.
fun.
Would someone be able to talk about what the Dunham house was?
Dennis is better at that than I am, so we would have Dennis do it. We are going to, and that's another thing I did contact the chamber about doing a ribbon cutting. We seem to do those occasionally. So we're going to do one Friday, the 28th. Because that is when we were, just this.
July?
No, October
Oh, I was
28th.
gonna say.
Because it's an anniversary date for us. October 28th, 1926 was when we became in a library. I mean, there's all these different things. We became a library and then we were chartered and then we were chartered again. So we have a lot of anniversary
Well,
dates.
the library, just the house, right?
The house, the old library, right?
Yeah.
That part.
That was 1926 then.
Yes, so the 28th of October is a anniversary for us, and it happens to be a Friday. So I asked that we do a ribbon cutting that day. And they will talk to all the dignitaries like they did the last time when we
Right.
opened the foyer. So yeah, I need to put that date out for you
Are there
guys.
any pictures of when that Dunham house was actually the whole library?
I think not great, but we do have some old,
Yeah. that would be
we
good.
do,
It would be
and
good
we
to
could
have
do
that.
that like on, like a PowerPoint or do whatever we
Yeah,
need to
I
do.
wonder, what was that? 'Cause I did a ribbon cutting when I was president. What was it for?
Lots of elevator edition.
Must have been.
Because Sally was here when they did this edition.
Yeah.
We've had a couple different
Yeah,
things.
'cause I.
We turned 90, so we'll be 96, I
It must
think,
have been
that day,
about-
right?
yeah. I-
4 years
I-
shy.
I just
Is
saw
that
the
right?
pictures
Because
of
it'll
it.
be
Yeah.
Right.
26, 22.
To 26.
So we'll be 96 years old that day.
The director was, who was the director before you?
Right. Oh, Janine,
No.
Janine, I think was the
Well,
elevator.
Ed-
Oh, Judy.
Judy,
Judy.
Judy was pretty good. That's when I cut the ribbon. She
What
was
did
quite
she
good.
do? Let me think.
It was outside the Dunham house. I saw the pictures the other day of me cutting the ribbon. So it must have been.
Janine did the,
Oh, wait, Charlotte.
Char, do you know?
Judy did a ribbon cutting for the landscaping that was outside Dunham House.
I thought Frank did the landscaping,
Oh, maybe that's what-
No,
but maybe it didn't get done
Oh, that's
until.
what I did
I think
then.
it's finished in Judy, so she was part of the. ribbon.
Okay, so Frank wrote the grant for the landscaping, but Judy was here when it happened.
Yeah.
In fairness,
Because I
Judy wrote the grant for that side parking lot and it was put in when I was here.
Because I was present for both those, so they, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice, so anyway, that I will send a little note, I
I
forgot
there
about
was a
that.
picture of Agnes Cassidy, who was the librarian there. when I
Oh,
was
my
There
in
is a
library
picture of
in the 60s.
Helen Dunham checking out that first
Oh, okay.
book. We have
Good.
those.
Oh, good.
But there's, and then you can see that, I don't know if you can see it. We knew that was one big room.
Yeah.
So we'll try to dig out as many old pictures
Yeah,
as we
that
can
would
and
be
do
fun.
something with them.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be a really neat job. Oh, I don't know. I haven't done by that. But we try to figure out what to do with these interns sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
just see
there's
what
an app you
see
can
what they
take on
come
your
up with,
phone, because we
yeah.
just did this with all the family pictures. There's an
Right.
app you can take on your phone, then you can send it digitally.
Right, absolutely.
So-
Yeah, that'd be a good chore for somebody.
Let's see, oh, and we're planning to upgrade the copy machine, so Mark's on the call, and we're gonna work with Mid-York to see what they use. We don't necessarily have to do that, but he's gonna come, we want a lot of the, well, not a lot of the staff, but some people want to print in color on cardstock. We can print one. Wait, print a second one. So I don't know if it's cost prohibitive to do that, but we're gonna find out. And also I see at the bottom here, Herm has found quotes for a lawnmower, snow blower combination, and our John Deere is older.
Yeah.
It's definitely been here a while. So I said, okay, why don't we we just need to get more than one quote is the trouble.
Right.
So we found Casanova Equipment, I think is where he went there to look, and units snap together,
Yeah.
and they used to be all these belts and all those kinds of things. So we will be doing that probably true. I guess I didn't really put it in here, and it'll come up at our next meeting. We did intent to apply for a construction grant for next year, because Mid-York has close to $1 million to spend. That doesn't mean that our total of $464,000 is fair. We'll see how it goes, because the things, kid you not, I had Julia give us a really quick, if we did interior renovations to include, and I have maps and things that I'll have better next month, but we're planning to do another bathroom there with what used to be the women's room. And then around the corner, that men's room will turn into a very small space once we expand that women's room. It'll just be a sink, so you can wash your hands behind the circ desk. The circ desk, well, it's not really attached to anything anyway.
Yeah.
It can flip around, so your back is to Dunham House, so discharge could come in and out when busy or not. I don't know if you ever go to Jervis, but the workroom's right behind. And it's very common to have your workroom right behind the desk. And so our information staff will be back there too, so then they can just walk through the door and right there. They don't have to walk through the public and do all that. So that's but this room is part of it too, and that room. And so some of those renovations, I said we'd like to do these. I don't know if that's gonna be the end all. Okay, so that's the sign. We priced a digital sign, which this is, I think, high, but it would be to put an LED sign out front. So it would be the posts and everything. And that quote with the installation and the sign was $36,000.
Oh, wow.
So I think that we could probably do better, but we also say to people, make sure you quote enough. Because we want
Yeah.
the quote to be at least what it is, so then later on, if it's less, that's okay.
But if it's
But more,
Yeah.
we're not
What
ready.
would be on the sign?
It would be like a
one of those
TV,
things that
Yeah.
you
and
can-
so we could
Like,
change,
You can change the messages.
and change
Oh,
in front of the
yeah.
school, the Legion has one.
Oh,
So you
okay.
could put events on.
We
it.
could.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought you meant just, I understand.
So it's that, but it's both sides, so there's
Okay.
two,
Two
not
sides.
TVs, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
in the same
Screens.
unit. And it would be taking down the one that's there and putting it the
Yeah.
way that a driver would be able to read it. 'Cause
Right.
right now, the sign, you see a brick post.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to
All
be
you got, so.
perpendicular to.
So that's been on the list that's been on the wish list for a while.
Because when people went horse and cart down the road, they had time to turn their head.
That is an old sign. I do think it was more modern
I
than the
always
horse and
used to
buggy.
think it'd be a good idea to rent some space in front of the, where the dollar store is, and put the library sign there, because everybody goes up and down Risky Boulevard, and
Right.
hardly anybody goes up and down Main
Right,
Street.
I do think our library sign should be replaced too. I don't know who we talked to about that, maybe the village. So then.
You know,
Well,
April,
Yes,
that's exactly what I was thinking. I've been driving around, and a lot of people have much more efficient, I'll just say, signs out there. You can just do many more things with them.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Ours
I
is,
agree with
I
that.
know it's old, but every year we come up for a construction grant, I'm like, but this is kind of an emergency, and the sign was always on the back burner.
right.
Okay,
So
and
this
then,
is stuff that I don't have to take notes on.
no,
Yeah.
just you could say, maybe just, I suppose I could add it to that, or Whitney, maybe, I'm just,
Yeah, just wait till next month.
right, I'm just telling you. So then, let's see, and it'll be part of that, it'll be a meeting that I have next Monday, so I'll tell you about it then. So then we did get a quote for removing the maple tree in the front that has more of the dead leaves on it, or dead branches. The one totally in front of Dunham House it'll probably last another 5 years. But the one that's in the sidewalk path, since we want to replace the sidewalk because it's kind of wonky. The tree, we go all the way around it, and that tree is, I mean, we lose branches into the parking lot. So it's, when I got here, they told me those trees are dying and they need to go. But anyway, so that's a tree removal as part of it. Professional
How
fee,
much is that tree removal?
3,000 for the maple tree, but we have a few dead pines out
Two
here.
trees sitting there.
And then we have stump removal thing. So,
The stump doesn't have-
but so I have a quote for 4,800 for all the trees that we want to get rid of and all the stumps to go.
Yeah,
But,
who is it with?
oh, in here,
Oh, never
and
mind.
that's all right, we can talk about it later, maybe after our official meeting, we'll
Yeah.
go back. But then we have professional fees for interior work, because we can allow that, so that's 5,800. The engineering services, which is Alzengrelli with, because they have all of that all mapped out, right? So he was able to quickly do our parking lot, or our sidewalk. And that would be, all of these would need the bid package, so all of that, that's what that's about. And okay, engineering services, we got that, and then the sidewalk quote, $56,000 for a sidewalk to go to the road and down.
Oh, my gosh.
What? So we were hoping that maybe we could get a better quote than that too,
Yeah.
but this would be, we'd put that out to bid. So it would be whatever the best is, but these were so that we had an idea,
Yeah, you have to have some kind of
Because you're
idea.
putting it
but it's,
in a request for money.
right? It's like, I'm still not used to it. It's like, just hit me in the forehead with these numbers, but that's what it is. So we're looking at least 400,000 to do that. But I don't know who and I also did say to Mid-York, I said, I know that other people probably want to do something. It doesn't mean we have to do all of these projects this year.
Right.
You know, but if there's money,
Right.
and there's a 75% match, we're in, you know, so I just,
Absolutely.
that's what the intent to apply is for. We don't really apply for the construction grant until August, like 20 something. So we will know how many other projects there are in Mid-York. If they say to us, you know, if your project was only say 300,000, we could give you a 75% match. We, you know, we'll have
Yeah.
more information
And then you can.
by the August
you
meeting.
can put-
But that
you can
includes like
prioritize.
reworking
Right.
that room, because that, I mean, this workroom over here and the office would become one, we'd be moving a doorway of the second part of, so there's quite a bit in that. And
And there are things that. could
it's
wait.
this ceiling and it's a lot. And it's expensive, and that's why, because we threw it all in there.
Right.
So, we might not do it all, so I don't want you to panic, but if we did do it all, we do have money to do it. I mean, obviously, we want grant money for it,
Right.
Sure.
but, that wouldn't all be us. If it's 75%, then we're looking more like 100,000 or 125,000, it's not, that's the total, that's not our portion.
So.
Okay, so I'm
April,
done.
the stuff about the copy machines and the lawnmower, that's just for our information. We don't
Just
have to
FYI, we don't know what
approve
you don't really know, it's there, so that when we buy a $7,000 lawnmower with attachments, we
Right.
go, oh,
anything.
we already talked.
Yeah.
We already talked about that.
Yeah, just.
Okay, so we're on to old business, new business.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there something?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah, I was gonna say, with Scott, when's Scott's last?
His is up, September, the September meeting will be his last meeting, because October, Nedra will start. Nedra Eisenberg is our new trustee.
So in August, we
So-
to think of doing something.
That we can chat all of it. We usually, well, what we've done, a few different things that we, was John Levitas, no, John Levitas left and we got him a gift card.
Right.
Susanna Tuttle left
Yeah.
and we got her a gift card.
Yeah, Sometimes we go out
similar.
to dinner. Most of the time it was going out to dinner when someone left and then giving them a gift or
Right.
That's right. The honored person gets to choose the restaurant and we all went.
Yeah.
It was nice because we don't ever get much opportunity to do that.
We have to do it the August meeting.
Right, so they'd either choose to go out to eat with their own loved ones in their germ bubble, or they go out to eat with us, or whatever. I don't know. I've never really had a,
Well,
A party
remember,
in
they have
this
a
regard.
choice if they want to go out to dinner. It was like, usually it was just the husband and wife, right?
okay,
And then the direct,
And
us.
us, the board.
And,
right, if they want to go out.
It's been a while since we did that.
and then anyone else from the library wants to go.
Trying
we
to
have to
think,
pay for the dinner.
because most, it was John actually left the board.
Judy, remember Judy's, and then we gave her a tree or something, did we give her a
Well,
tree?
didn't we go to dinner?
Yeah, we went to
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah, I
Everybody else has been a repeat person,
We
right?
got to-
So you guys, as I've been on the board, Sue, you chose to do another term. You chose to do another, Sally chose to do
But
another
Sally
term.
and I remember
So-
leaving, and they always had a dinner,
Mhm.
and then we gave them something, right, Sally? So,
I just remember the dinner, but could be Pat. I'm not sure.
yeah, when Judy left, we gave her a tree, remember, for her yard,
Yes,
and we went out
Well,
to dinner.
We need to ask Scott what they would like.
Yeah, we. first
Yes,
we asked
that's
them
right.
to go out, and then they usually choose the place,
Yeah.
and
But
then
I
we
don't know if that's all
decide.
their new business either.
Well, we still have to give them a plaque or whatever,
Yeah,
we have to think about, we have to give them, because there's a
Whatever.
plaque that we give them. As a trustee, right, Sally, the plaque, is there like a plaque?
right. I
that was-
remember
yeah.
we get Janine a plaque, like a book, represented a book, but it was engraved with,
I don't know if we done,
Well,
we may have with John, but
But
I don't think we gave Susanna a plaque. We just gave her a gift card, and I think,
Susanna, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
okay, so Pat, did you want to ask Scott what he would prefer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that would be good if you could do that, and then.
Okay.
And then we decide what we give
Yeah.
them as a memento from the library, whatever.
okay.
I don't know.
So you're gonna call and
At least
ask
one
him?
time we gave somebody a clock, didn't we give somebody a clock, Sally?
I guess it's whatever.
It was
We
like a
have
clock
served
and
like,
had their name.
a couple different times.
Yeah, and they had their name on it, that they're a trustee and.
Okay.
And I know minimalism is coming
Yes.
into play, that people don't want stuff.
People don't want stuff, yeah. Okay,
Okay, so
so,
August, I'll ask them.
yeah, good.
All right.
Okay. Other announcements or communications?
I don't think I have any. I
It's
mean,
summer,
I just,
everything's low key
I
in
just-
summer.
I just told
Oh, I
her
was gonna
everything.
ask you, is Mid-York going to do anything like they usually do? Remember how we always used to have a
It
fall?
was in the fall.
That would be in the fall. They may.
Yeah, I
Well,
wonder if
people may
didn't-
not have gotten.
Oh, they did
over the
last
whole
time. They
COVID
did.
thing. Did
We
they?
had one in, with Verona maybe. It Verona down.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Verona down,
that was the last one.
I remember that. We went.
Yeah, we,
Yeah, I
yeah,
went,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
I
maybe
don't
this
know.
time it would be,
Maybe, we'll see.
it keeps, it comes around, goes around, I don't know. There's, it
just-
comes
I
and
just
goes, it's hard to
remember.
say.
They've always been pretty
Sometimes
good.
people have gotten off that,
Right,
A
I
couple
mean, I haven't
times
had it
thought-
yet, or I've had it
Yeah.
like 8 times and I didn't have symptoms, I don't know.
A couple
Well, it's
times
kind
I
of
thought
fun,
our
they
bunch-
never made these little program.
It
They
is.
want the Irish Center too.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, the last time we had, she was the lady who, Sinnott. So she wrote the book about the third
Right.
Mrs. Somebody,
No,
third
I
Mrs.
didn't-
Sinnott, I think. And so we have the book. And so she wrote, and then we had a book club. She came and spoke at the library too. So I think that was the last one. Because the one before that, we've had a couple. They're blending.
Okay.
Okay, so, there's no more public comment. And there's no, thank goodness. Executive session, I don't think we need an executive session. I don't think so. Okay, the next meeting will be August 9th, and we will
Wow.
adjourn at 6:47.
And
Oh.
I'll make a motion.
Perfect, that is. I said I was leaving at 6:45 today.
Oh,
Sally, you want to second that?
Sorry about that, I was late.
No, it's fine. It's all good. It's close enough.
Sally, I got you down as seconding the motion for adjournment, so you're in the.
Okay.
Good.
Very good. Thank you all. Thank you all
Yeah,
for,
and,
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night. I'm still here, no camera, but
Yes, and
No,
she
she
did,
did come to that.
that was
She
pretty
came to that.
wild. I
She
thought.
came to that Saturday thing.
Yes,
That was very-
which was nice, and you know, it's, you have
Oh.
something to